It's been 4 years on this journey, and before that point, I had dreamt of doing medicine and making a difference in the world. God, I wanted it so badly sometimes. And I wanted it so badly that I decided to study abroad in Ireland, and I had thought about this moment for a very long time. I thought about the excitement, the packing, the traveling, meeting new friends. I thought about traveling to different cities. I was thinking of how much time I was going to have, and I was ultimately thinking about how I was finally going to be able to do that I genuinely loved. But that also meant leaving behind my friends and family, leaving behind my hometown that I had grown to love, and starting over again. I'm sure this is a story of most students that are studying abroad. Eventually, the excitement of travel wears off. You find yourself drowning in a bunch of work you need to do. You find yourself alone. You find yourself struggling of figuring out where to eat, what to eat. You miss your mom's cooking. You don't know when to do laundry. You don't know how to use the laundry machine. And you find yourself ultimately wanting to go back home. It's easy to forget we can use phone calls, text messages, and video chat. In an instant, we can ring up a family member across the world. However, sometimes none of it is enough. We're finding ourselves more secluded and lonelier than ever. Maybe this feeling of intractable loneliness is because our ancestors before us for millions of years used to band together and live in tribes, and being exiled or going at things alone meant certain death. Maybe our psyche is not meant to operate alone like this. Everyone has strong physical needs, but as human beings we also have psychological needs that need to be met, such as the sense of belonging, leading a life filled with meaning and purpose, having people that you care about see you, and that sense of validation that we get. As a society, we've done a great job in improving our lives in many ways, but I feel like this is an area that's very hard to fill the void in, and an area that's lacking. So I'm in my final year of medical school here in Ireland, and home for me is about 7,000 kilometers away in Calgary, Alberta. And before I started this medical school journey about 4 years ago, I did my bachelor's in a small town called Kelowna in British Columbia, which is still an hour flight away from my hometown. And so it feels like, well, it has been an 8-year journey of just non-stop traveling. It seems like I only get to get home for the breaks, and given what happens, who knows what happens with residency going forward, I am going to be away from home even longer, it seems like. And so I feel like I've been through the ups and downs of living away. I've been through the ups and downs of loneliness. I feel like I've been through some trenches, and I feel like I have some things that I can share with you to help you along this journey if you're also studying abroad. Embrace the solitude. Counterintuitively, whenever I find myself hyper-connected, scrolling through Instagram or Twitter for hours and hours on end, watching other people live their life and have a lot of fun, I end up feeling more lonely. And the only counter to that I've found is by doing things for myself, by myself, embracing the solitude. So that could mean going to the museum by yourself, if that's your thing. If you're into photography, go photograph the city by yourself. If you like brunch, go out for a brunch and just embrace it. And I think when you take on that approach of just, really taking in and enjoying your own company, that's when a lot of doors open for you. Another way that you can help yourself is by helping others. Paradoxically, helping other people and doing acts of kindness can actually take away from your own loneliness. I'm not saying you have to go join a soup kitchen, but you can maybe join a protest, you can volunteer. And given the current climate, I'd like to share a quote from a Palestinian poet on helping others.
As you prepare your breakfast, think of others. Don't forget to feed the pigeons. As you conduct your wars, think of others. Don't forget those who want peace. As you pay your water bill, think of others. Think of those who have only the clouds to drink from. As you go home, your own home, think of others. Don't forget those who live in tents. As you sleep and count the stars, think of others. There are people who have no place to sleep. As you liberate yourself with metaphors, think of others. Those who have lost their right to speak. And as you think of distant others, think of yourself and say, I wish I were a candle in the darkness.
One thing that I love doing, and all my friends know it, is that I love going to feed the birds. Every Sunday I get bird feed, I get oats, I get sardines for the bigger bird, and I go to the nearest pond. It's a beautiful pond, and I go feed the birds. It's become part of my routine, and those birds have become my pets in a way, but it just helps fill the void, and it's my way of helping others. Have good food. I know this point is like, what? It seems random, but genuinely having good food brings joy, and that doesn't mean go out fine dining. It could be just making your food every now and then, using good ingredients and not getting as much takeout and fast food. Takeout and fast food genuinely makes you feel like disgusting, and I find a lot of international students, and I got into this habit as well, of just ordering takeout whenever I wanted. But if you put in the time and you put in the effort into making good food and search up recipes, it can genuinely make a huge difference. And if you have time, like, you can make food for the next day or two, and that way you can have like a meal prep type of situation. It takes a lot of pressure off yourself, and it takes a lot of pressure off your bank account, so it's a win-win. Finding God or being more spiritual. Now hear me out. I know a lot of people get freaked out by this topic. Before you click off, let me explain. Essentially, I think spirituality and being more religious can meaningfully help your loneliness, essentially by having a sense of community, a sense of greater purpose, and through ways of personal development and personal growth. I don't understand why this point is so missed by so many YouTubers on this platform that talk about self-development, that talk about, you know, bettering yourself, that talk about, you know, essentially helping yourself, and it's never mentioned. So I think, you know, there's three ways essentially where being more religious or being more spiritual could help you. One would be it fosters tight-knit communities. If you go to prayer times, if you go to religious events, you know, essentially individuals are welcome there. It's a tight-knit community, and then at that same event you'll find people that are like-minded, that are, you know, that have the same values as you. And if you're from an ethnic background, you'll find people of all types of ethnicities, and it helps you branch out, make new friends, and have people to do things with. Finally, in prayer and contemplation, I think you find a certain sense of comfort, and I've always been one to pray, and it genuinely helps me through the tough times. I always lean on prayer and contemplation, and I think we're so secular on this platform. People don't like talking about religion or spirituality, especially in the productivity and self-development space. I think it should be talked about, should be mentioned, you know, and holding yourself to, you know, believing in a higher power definitely helps you get through a lot of things, and it could help with loneliness as well. I obviously don't have the answers to everything, and I hope this video helps you in some way. I know, you know, dealing with loneliness is gonna look different for each and every one of us, but if you find even one thing that helps you and you start doing one thing after this video, I think that would make my point. And I really wish you the best, and I hope you're getting home for the holidays and spending some time with your family, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.